This is the Energy Shift Show podcast, where we talk about spirituality and how to live your best life today. All it takes is a shift in perception. Hello, beautiful souls. Deb here, and I'm so excited you're joining me for today's show. As CEO of the Harmonic Sovereignty Studio, my goal with the podcast is to motivate you by sharing insights and also take you along as I speak to knowledgeable people that I have found inspiring to me throughout my years as an energy medicine practitioner and intuitive guide. I cover topics that I'm passionate about, all things under my 3 pillars of attune, anchor, and amplify. Attune into your energy and your inner wisdom to gain clarity on what truly matters for your passion in life and your well-being. Anchoring grounds your insights with practical tools and daily rituals that support sustainable, soul-aligned growth. And amplifying, well, that elevates your impact and vitality by expanding your energy, sharing your gift, and creating lasting change from a place of alignment. Now listen up for this exciting episode to begin. I will read the disclaimer. This podcast and the topics discussed stem from my own curiosity and desire to learn and should never be taken as direct medical advice. I am not a doctor, dietitian, nor any other medical professional. Please always consult your trusted provider regarding your health and your wellness. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on today's podcast show. I guess I can say Happy New Year if you are living in the Gregorian / Roman calendar of the new year. We are at the beginning of January of 2026. I think today's episode, I'm going to share with you how for the last few years, I straddled between the Gregorian calendar and what we call the nature or natural calendar, which is more of, if we're going to label things, maybe a pagan calendar, living within the seasons. And so I think that's what I want to talk about for today's episode. First of all, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. It's been a while since I've done a podcast, and I'm excited to be here recording again for you. So the goal for 2026 is to do 1 recording a week, and let's see how that goes for us. I welcome any questions. If you want to know more about something, I'm looking for topics to record on. And I'm doing these in bite-sized pieces, so there'll be less than 30 minutes for you to partake in, listen to while you're walking or working out, or just relaxing. So yeah, let's get started. So as I was saying about the calendar year, in 2026, I'm making more of an effort to really be heart-centered and honoring where this planet is going, what it's experiencing. Because one thing I do know, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. Yeah, let me say that again. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So if we live on this planet, and if the trees are alive, because the trees will take in our carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen. So that's kind of a yin-yang thing for me, where there's a positive and a negative. So there is a little bit of like quantum physics in this. There's a little bit of the natural laws that are in here, the spiritual laws in today's episode. So for me, right now, we came through a holiday season. In my family, these past few years, what we've celebrated has been Yule. And yes, I understand it's around the Christian holiday of Christ's birth, Jesus's birth, Yeshua's birth. So I understand that, but it never made sense to me growing up because it's the middle of the winter and a baby wasn't born in a stable in the middle of the winter. And I realized that it didn't happen here in the United States. The United States is not the center of the world, as some people would have you believe. So I understand that this was in a different part of the world where this experience happened. Yeah, but nature. I love being in the rhythms of nature. There's something about it that grounds me and lights me up at the same time. So for me, it is January. I am in the dead of winter. If I look around my surroundings and I see the animals and I see what's happening with the trees and with the ground and with the plants, things are dormant. Things are gone inward. Things are doing this thing called rest and restore to get ready to blossom in the springtime. As a being on this planet, that just makes total sense to me. And when I think about that and I don't play into all of the things that we've been taught we're supposed to do, quote unquote, I really buck the system. Because as a woman, first of all, I don't get equal pay. So I jumped out of that little timeline years ago when I left the workforce to raise my kids. That's what was important to my husband and I. He was able to go out there and make a good living, and I was able to stay home and make sure that our children had our values instilled in them, knowing that I was the number one caretaker for them. Trust me, this was not an easy task. It's probably the most ungrateful position that I've done, meaning ungrateful from society, giving me all the double standards. We all know it as women. We're cursed if we go back to work after having a family, and we're cursed if we stay home and we have a family. Well, I'm calling bullshit on that. And yes, I am going to swear on this podcast. I do use language as a way to express my emotional depth that goes along with some of the things that I'm calling out, because that's what I'm doing. I'm calling it out. I don't believe in that paradigm anymore. I don't support that paradigm anymore. Whatever choice you make as a woman or a man is the right choice. And if we could just all drop the judgment and trying to tell other people how to live their effing life, I think we would be a species that would be in more harmony on a daily basis. So living in nature, what that means for me is in the winter, I don't enjoy the cold. I will say that. I do not enjoy being in cold weather. I do not enjoy the snow. I think it's pretty to look at from inside and looking out at it. So what I do appreciate is I appreciate this time that's forcing me to reflect and think about what has worked for me in the past 12 months, what has not worked for me in the past 12 months, and how am I going to shift that in the next 12 months? And I want to invite all of my listeners to do the same thing. Just do this one small act of reflection. And if you're not happy with your life, whether it's in your relationship or it's in your career, or you just feel like you're going along and you've lost your drive for doing life the way you're doing it, I'm with you. I've been there. I've had to work through a lot of this stuff. It's taken me over 3 decades of doing this hard work on not only on myself, but also helping other strong individuals step forward in their crisis and say, help, I could use a help up right now. And that's the way I look at it. I think raising your hand and asking for help makes you strong, because we weren't put on this planet to go through this experience by ourselves. There are truly 2 things that we do by ourselves. And I'm even going to like call bullshit on that on myself, because there's two things, and let me clarify. We are born, nobody can be born for us. And when we decide or our journey is up, it's not even our decision. We leave the body, we die. Nobody can do those two things for us. But there are people and beings and entities that are right there beside us. So we're never really truly alone, right? We're here together. So in this experience of being together on this big, beautiful blue planet, let's just call it what it is. We have these seasons. And in the seasons where it's colder and it's frost on the ground and it's cold, that's a time, that's our cue to just slow down. Whoa, 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 put the brakes on. Reflect. Journal. Sit with your own thoughts. Are you happy? In the moment, are you happy? And if you're not, what are you going to do about it? Because only you can decide to change your reality. Your thoughts become things. So where you put your perception is where you're going to draw more of. I know people that are super negative. All they do is look at the negativity in life. And guess what? It's draining to talk to them, right? Yeah. But the positives, let's keep it positive. So we're in the winter season. It's a time to reflect. Appreciate that as a gift from our co-creator. In the springtime, things blossom out of the ground. The trees wake up. The sap starts running. We're able to get maple syrup out of the trees, boil it down, that sap. Plant some seeds in our gardens and grow our food. Wow. Yeah, beautiful. And then in the summer we just get to take a breath and tend to the things and nurture those things that we planted and that are growing. Just make sure things are just going along. Being aware. And then in the fall, it's time to harvest, people. Yeah, it's time to harvest, reap the benefits of what we sowed. So that we can then, before we step into winter, at the beginning of winter, we can plan, do, and review. Review what just happened, plan for the next year, and then do it. So that's my talk for today about living more in harmony with nature versus the marketing aspects of what we've been told and how we need to celebrate and what we need to celebrate. I'll celebrate birth in the springtime when all the animals are having their babies. Well, that's my talk for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear your feedback. Feel free to reach out to me. And that's it for today. So I hope this was fun for you in a way where it's causing you to think and look at things differently. All right. Until next week. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed this episode and it aligned with your frequency and the goal of living your best life, you can connect with me at harmonicsovereignty.com or debbiesodergren.com. Check out my YouTube channel, Debbie Sodergren. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Harmonic Sovereignty Studio. I invite you to send me your questions or comments or just say hello on social media or email me at debbiesodergren@gmail.com. And remember, a shift in perception is sometimes all it takes for you to up your frequency. Until next time.